YouTube does not care about its creators. In other news, the sky is blue. The other day I woke up to the knowledge that my 6-hour-long South Park ranking video had been hit with limited ads. If you don't know, limited ads is basically YouTube's nicer way of saying screw you, which now has to be my ad-friendly way of saying fuck. Consider me shocked, as when the video was initially uploaded it was monetized with no problems, even after doing 3 hours worth of checks. So what suddenly materialized that made the video now go against YouTube's guidelines was beyond me. A similar instance then happened with my most recent video, which was about Smosh's Forgotten Cartoon channel. It was uploaded and monetized just fine, only for it to be randomly hit with limited ads the next day, this time for slightly gratifying content. So I don't know who's beating it to Smosh babies, but I think that says more about you than me, YouTube. This is when I took to Twitter, only to be informed that these are all cases of YouTube's brilliant new rules taking into action, being that swearing is a big no-no now. If you even think about saying the frick word, then Mama YouTube has gotta wash out your mouth with soap. And don't you worry, they're also gonna go back to every other instance in your entire channel's history to find where you broke this brand new rule and make sure you pay for your sins there as well. Sorry, it's just the rules. Can you tell that I'm a little peeved off right now? All of this is nothing new. YouTube have slowly been integrating more and more restrictive rules over the past few years, but I think we've long reached a breaking point, to where working on most kind of video now has become near impossible without feeling like you constantly have YouTube breathing down your neck, as you not only have to make sure you're fitting with their very vague yet strict guidelines, but at the same time, hope they don't someday down the line integrate new rules that you were just meant to predict, I suppose. So I thought, hey, what better way to start this glorious new year than to talk about these new rules, how they're going to affect many of your favorite content creators on the site, how YouTube is terrible when it comes to communication and not letting you in on this information that would do nothing but benefit both parties, and end by giving you a quick rundown on how this is affecting my content and what I plan to do to work around this. So, if you didn't know, which wouldn't surprise me honestly, as I haven't seen too many people comment on this topic aside from a couple big channels, but every time YouTube gets in some kind of controversy, their way of getting around their own incompetence is to blame and punish the creator. Whoa! Advertisers are pissed about their commercials appearing on videos containing swearing / sensitive subjects / sexual content? Well, that's okay. We'll just make this whole friggin' system where the uploader has to check a bunch of boxes to whether or not the video contains any of that bad stuff. And if we, and by we I mean our AI bot running the show, thinks that dastardly YouTuber is lying about it containing any of this, we'll demonetize it ourselves without letting them explain. We've just gotten massive amounts of trouble for knowingly targeting ads to children, which is illegal. Whoops! We'll just make the uploader check whether or not the video is made for kids, and if we, and by we I mean our AI bot running the show, thinks that pesky YouTuber is lying about it being for kids, then we'll just set it ourselves without letting them explain. Notice a pattern? I don't know what sparked this most recent ordeal, but what happened because of it is that YouTube have decided to rework their requirements for monetizable content, with the leeway they give you for swearing and such becoming much more strict. For example, YouTube used to give you the option to mark your video as having light swearing throughout, which used to be fine for monetization. However, now they've made it known that they're going to be treating all levels of profanity equally. I could say the S word, or I could say the N word, and YouTube would treat them the exact same, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. They used to have a very clear differentiation between curse words and slurs, although they for some reason considered the C word on the same level as a slur, but even still, it was clear that you could curse, but as long as you weren't saying anything hateful, then that's okay. Which is like, perfectly fine in my opinion. No one's gonna die over me saying the F word. No kid's ears are gonna fall off by hearing me say the S word. These are words that every single kid out there knows of and frequently uses. This is not a case of protecting innocence, especially considering YouTube has a completely separate app for kids stuff. But hey, on the bright side, they're no longer gonna consider the words hell or damn as profanity anymore. Wonderful, we finally worked our way up to the same age rating as Shadow the Hedgehog, except not really because at least they gotta show guns. I mean, it's foolproof though. How could anybody possibly be confused about these clear as day requirements? Profanity used in the title, thumbnails, or in the first 7 seconds or used consistently throughout the video may not receive ad revenue. Profanities used after the first 8 seconds may receive ad revenue. Our position on not monetizing content with profanity throughout, or comprising the majority of the video, is not changing.
You what?
Okay, let's start by getting one thing straight. If you are rolling out these massive changes to your website guidelines that are going to affect the livelihoods for thousands of creators, you do not get away with using words like may or majority. If you want us to abide by these rules, you need to make it evident as to what these rules actually are, specifically. It's that stupid lawyer talk that does nothing but make it clear you're not actually hearing about this from a person. You may receive revenue for cursing, but at the same time, you may not. I don't know, it's whatever I'm feeling that day. Like, no, you're creating the rules here. You explain what they mean and stick by it. Also, what's this majority crap? I had initially marked my South Park video as this option. It contains like 5 different points, but I selected it for profanity like word I can't say, or the F word I can't say, being used outside of the start of the video, which is true. But that selection also has the description, profanity that does not occur throughout the majority of the video, which is clearly the part that YouTube had a problem with, as they hit me with limited ads claiming the video used profanity used in the first 7 seconds or majority of the video, profanity used in the thumbnails or titles. It's this method of shoving a bunch of different points under the same column, because no, my video does not use profanity in the first 7 seconds, it does not have profanity in the thumbnail or title, and the point that you could say it falls under is the vaguest crap ever. What do you mean majority? If we want to get objective, in my South Park video I say the B word 13 times, the S word 109 times, and some variation on the F word 188 times. Sounds like a lot, huh? Except when you consider that the video is 6 hours long. Let's say it takes a grand total of 1 second for me to say each of those words. That means within 6 hours, I swear for 5 minutes. You want to know what majority means? That's not what they're saying, of course. They mean you throw a swear in here, a swear in there. They're featured regularly in the video from start to finish. But the issue with this is, once again, the vagueness. What is considered too much? You can't say that swearing is fine as long as it isn't excessive, yet not elaborate on what your definition of excessive is. And you know why that is? Because there is no definition. You're better off not swearing at all, because I've had videos demonetized for having 1 swear, yet videos where I curse like a sailor have remained fine for years. It's all dependent on what the AI running YouTube says at that point in time. And even when you do get an actual human to manually review your content, what is and isn't considered excessive is up to their interpretation, I have to assume. It's like they make these rules under the assumption that every single video ever is the exact same, interchangeable with one another. If I upload a 10-minute video, how many swears is too many? What about a 1 hour long video? Do I have the same amount of curse words to use, or is there a curve to it? This is not something that should go unspecified. This is a multi-billion-dollar company with thousands of employees, and more importantly, millions of creators who put everything into their content. They are the ones who make the site, not Susan Wojcicki. So why are they left in the dark about decisions that would do nothing but help both parties to be informed about? It's truly baffling to me. Truly baffling. Seriously though, there's an easy solution to this. Just don't swear. Which is hard for an Irishman such as myself who genuinely finds it hard not to curse in between every other word, but I can manage. I can play your game, YouTube. I will actively follow the rules if that's what's needed. But how the hell was any creator in the past supposed to predict this? Yeah, not only does this new rule apply to all your future videos, but any video you know I uploaded in the past is held to the same requirements that were just put into practice. My South Park video, monetized for days, according to YouTube it was completely fine. Until it wasn't, I guess. What happened there? Surely nothing in the video itself was any different. So this means that as a content creator, you're expected to sit and monitor all of your videos at all times to ensure nothing goes wrong with them, because YouTube sure as hell doesn't reliably notify you about this stuff. That Smosh Babies video was fine until the morning after I uploaded it. Then literally 5 minutes later I checked it again, only to see a big yellow $sign in my face. Happy New Year to me! But the worst part about all this is the inequality between creator and company. Talking about South Park is a no-go. How could I even think about posting such smut? But those original episode clips? A-okay by YouTube standards. Here's a clip that shows genital injury, uses the word prostitute and hooker, ending on the description of a 9-year-old boy being stabbed. Stamp of approval. I don't know what's causing that. It couldn't possibly be that YouTube fever's letting big companies get away with doing whatever the hell they want because it means more eyes will be on the site to watch clips from these popular TV shows. Or something like that, I don't know. So let me get this straight. Over the past couple of years, YouTube have made it so you can't make content for kids. I even had the comment section on my Dan Schneider video turned off a few times simply for having kids in the thumbnail. But you also can't have content that appeals to adults either, while making sure you don't use language which is commonly used by every single teenager on planet Earth. Okay, that makes things simple. Talk about riding the line. The worst part is you can't even talk to YouTube about this sort of stuff. When I'd made my tweet to them, I had a bunch of people come to me warning me about how other creators, mainly RT Game, had the exact same thing happen to his videos, only for him to ask YouTube to take a look into this, where in turn they said, "Oh yeah, a mistake has been made here. All these other videos are also in violation of our new rules. Sucks to be you." At this point, I'm like, whatever, make whatever new rule you want. But the least you could do is give folks a heads up. I spent 2 months working on that 6-hour video. You know what would have been useful? A simple email saying, "Hey, in a month we're gonna have this new system in place, just to get ready for it." At that point, I could have easily gone through and made it up to snuff. But no, it's only something I find out after it's already been uploaded. The day I record this video, I've just been informed that my South Park video got its monetization back, which is a good thing. But it only begs the question, if the video was fine to be monetized this whole time, then why was it randomly demonetized for no reason? It's completely arbitrary what is and isn't hit. Will I be compensated for those days I wasn't making anything off this video? Of course not. Not to mention being demonetized practically flatlines all growth. If anything, it's more annoying to know that none of this needed to happen. Even that doesn't necessarily mean things are fine, because YouTube's decisions are never set in stone. My Smosh Babies video also got reapproved for monetization the other day, but today I just woke up to say it was demonetized again. So YouTube can say your video is fine for monetization, come back and say, well, maybe it isn't. Then a human can manually check it and go, wait a minute, this was fine the whole time. And then when their back is turned, the bot can just demonetize it again. Wonderful. Or better yet, if this is such a problem for you that you have to apply it to every video ever uploaded regardless of when, integrate a system that gets rid of the swearing instead of having these vague guidelines. You have an AI that can detect all the curse words. Why not have it automatically place censor beeps over them or deafens the audio for a split second so we can spare the children from having to hear a swear word? Kids are exposed to all this horrific stuff on a regular basis nowadays, but God forbid they hear someone say the F word. It's embarrassing that the site has become this incompetent over the years, especially since none of this is new. People have been voicing their concerns with the direction the site has been headed in for years and nothing has improved. It's only gotten worse if anything. At this point, complaining about YouTube is basically just screaming into a void. And YouTube doesn't care, because they know that when it comes to web-based video sites, they're untouchable. They have one of the biggest corporations backing them, and any rival site that thinks they have a chance inevitably gets crushed under the realization they couldn't possibly compete. Ironically, I ended my last video on the statement that what makes YouTube good is that it isn't TV, that it is so much less restrictive. But with new rules like this, it's clear to me that YouTube isn't like TV. It is much, much worse. At least on television, I could say fuck. The old tagline for the website used to be YouTube, broadcast yourself, which hasn't been used in years because it would now have to be something more like broadcast yourself as long as you don't do this and this or this and this. So I'd like to propose they adopt a new tagline that more accurately conveys what the site has become over the years. YouTube, adapt or die. Originally, I was going to end this video with the announcement of a Patreon and all that jazz. I had one a few years back, but took it down because I felt bad about receiving donations in that kind of way. Like, at least on a Twitch stream, I could do something directly in return. But I'm still not entirely comfortable with the idea, so I'm going to continue not to make one. I may end up launching one in the future for my podcast channel, purely for the purpose of paying for plane tickets and accommodations to meet up with guests in person. I don't know, I much prefer that to a simple Discord call, but even still. For now, all I can say is I'm not sure. If you really want to support the channel directly in some way, YouTube have these new super thanks things. You can give it directly from the channel page. It's basically like how you would during a live stream. I appreciate it if you do, but it's not expected in any way. If you guys want to frame a reference, that South Park video took me 2 months to make and cost a grand total of $4,000 to produce, and it was demonetized after a couple days. You know, paying an editor for a 6-hour video isn't cheap. If it were something only I was working on without any help, not only would it have taken double the time span to make, but it would also have meant I couldn't work on any other videos during that time span. I also recently took on an artist to begin helping out with the channel. His name is Matthew, and he's been a great help so far, not only making thumbnail art, making all these assets for the podcast, as well as completely revamping the channel for the new year, which you'll see roll out with the next upload. But he's also been doing background characters and compositing every single shot for my pilot, and has been doing a very good job so far. Fun fact, I found him on Twitter just by drawing a piece of fan art for me, so never say that doesn't get you anywhere, guys. But again, all that stuff costs money, not even to mention all the animators and sound mixers, all of which I've been paying for out of pocket for the past few years. Thankfully though, it's looking to be finished at some point this year, which I'm looking forward to being done with, but I'll save all that talk closer to its release whenever that is. If you do wish to support the channel in any way, thanks, but for now, just watching the videos is more than enough for me. If you haven't checked out the podcast yet, I'd recommend it. We're ranked number 14 on Apple Podcasts for animation and manga, which is which is something, I guess. And I have a new YouTube's plush coming out January 31st, so look forward to that and all. I think it's looking really good. Not only does it have this detachable Fairly OddParents wand that comes with it, but if you've ever noticed this little mouse character who's appeared in every single one of my videos for the past 2 to 3 years, not only is he gonna star in my pilot, but you can also get him as a plush too. It's ginormous and super high quality. I love how it came out. So if you want to get a cool prop from my videos and help support the channel, then this is the way to go. Who knows, maybe if we sell enough we can get the elusive U2's action figure, that'd be sweet. Either way though, that's about all I gotta say. I don't know, all these YouTube shenanigans have gotten me very self-reflective, but at the same time, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I greatly appreciate all the support you've shown me in the past couple years, and I can only hope you stick around for the future as I've got a lot of fun stuff planned. Baba booey.